Kia ora tātou, ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Thank you for the warm introduction and thank you for the invitation to be here. I grew up in a tiny little place down on the west coast of the South Island called Granity. If anyone's ever heard of Granity before, it's about as rural as it gets in New Zealand. I got 3 C's at high school, went to Buller High School in Westport. Interestingly, I did one of those career quest things, Ben, and it told me I should be a chalkboard artist. Which was really interesting. Most of my peers dropped out of school at 15 and got jobs up the coal mine or the cement works or the fish factory or just hit the drugs. That's kind of the reality down there. I decided that I wanted to go to university in Dunedin, largely because it has really, really good surf and I love surfing. And I had 3 aunties down there and lots of cousins. And I started doing design, marketing, computer science, psychology, just kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything. I almost did a whole degree in computer science and then just was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't think I could write code for a living. And through my design degree, I just started getting cameras out every weekend and I started making surfing and skateboarding films and was very self-indulgent and would put on these big premiere parties and bars in Dunedin. And then set up a film production company and would get gigs for AJ Hackett Bungee and Tourism Queenstown and, you know, had lots and lots of fun, but at about the same time just started becoming a lot more aware of a lot of these big social and environmental challenges. And, you know, learning about climate change, learning about the massive inequality that exists in our world, and just started asking, what could I do, you know? Became really interested in, you know, social enterprise, that idea of how do we kind of blend business with charitable stuff and doing good, and just set me on a path really. Set up Inspiring Stories, which is kind of my day-to-day, what we run now, with a big bold vision to back young New Zealanders to change the world, and we've been doing that for 7 years now. Initially won a scholarship through the Vodafone Foundation, which would pay your salary and expenses for 1 year to head a youth focus project of your choice. But only ever for 1 year, so you've got to kind of figure out how to make it work. Started a tiny little event here in Wellington called Festival for the Future, on the corner of Taranaki and Ghuzney Street, actually, at the New Zealand Film Archive. Had about 100 people the first year. Over the last 7 years, we had more than 1,300 people come along from right across the country last year. Everyone from Young New Zealanders of the Year, Forbes 30 Under 30, 25 councils across the country supporting young people from their communities, all the Air New Zealands, the BNZs, the Westpacs, the Microsofts, all sending their young professionals. And Festival for the Future has grown into this pretty remarkable summit of mostly millennials, you know, to engage in some of the big significant issues of our time, of national significance, of global significance, a real showcase of innovation and people doing amazing things. And this year we bring it back to Wellington, which is very, very exciting. So we haven't even launched program or tickets or anything, but we've already pre-sold 500 tickets, which is pretty amazing. We've booked out TSB Arena, Max Function Centre, Whariwaka, the boat shed, and we're going to light up Wellington Waterfront 10th of July. So we'd love to have you involved. Increasingly, a lot of the work that we've been doing through the programs and initiatives and mentoring that we run is also being targeted towards some of New Zealand's more challenged rural and provincial communities. So we have a program that we call Future Leaders, which works this year with about 250 18 to 25-year-olds in Apotiki, Kawerau, Whakatane in the Eastern Bay of Plenty, Kaikohe, Whangarei in the far north, Manawatu, Kapiti, Otaki, and down on the west coast of the South Island. So last year, that's been a very small scale prototype the last couple of years, working with about 20 young people. 3 of them won local hero medals as part of the New Zealander of the Year Awards last year. And this year, we're just really working to kind of scale that up from 20 to 250 young people involved. So some of our alumni, we've worked with thousands of them, have literally won the Young New Zealander of the Year Award. They've won International Youth Leadership Awards. They do lots of cool stuff. We've got a team mostly based here in Wellington, largely of young millennials who lead a lot of it. I'm the oldest in our team. I'm 32. Our youngest, Maisie, is 18 and then 19, and a very diverse team. How much time have I got? 1 minute. Yeah, I was actually the opening keynote yesterday for the New Zealand Community Trusts and Philanthropy Summit up up in Hamilton. And I guess, a few of these big issues right now, and a few of these big trends. One is that millennials are about to be the biggest demographic in the workforce globally. Another one is that millennials are driving a $7 trillion shift in the investment industry, a report put out by Morgan Stanley last year. That's just in the US alone. In New Zealand here, we have young people coming through tertiary education with unprecedented student debt. Cost of housing is higher than it's ever been. There's all of these really interesting kind of converging challenges, and I think open up some really interesting ways for how we really lead forward inclusively in the 21st century. So this is the big opportunities of our time. Kia ora, thank you.